Hey everyone, today we have a very relevant issue. Now, concerning food sacrificed to idols. We know that all of us possess knowledge. Well, knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. Hence, as to the eating of food offered to idols, we know that there is no idol in the world that really exists, and that there is no God but one. Indeed, even though there are many so-called gods in heaven or on earth, and in fact there are many gods and many lords, yet for us there is one God, the Father, from whom are all things and for whom we exist, and one Lord, Jesus Christ, through whom are all things and through whom we exist. However, not everyone has this knowledge. Since some have become so accustomed to idols until now, they still think of the food they eat as food offered to an idol, and their conscience, being sensitive, is defiled. For if others see you, who possess knowledge, eating in the temple of an idol, might they not, since their conscience is sensitive, be encouraged to the point of eating food sacrificed to idols? So, by your knowledge, the sensitive brother or sister for whom Christ died is destroyed. All right, so as I mentioned, we have a very common pastoral issue I deal with all the time. People wondering, can we eat food that's been sacrificed to a pagan god, particularly at their temple? All right, well, actually, what this issue is really about is about our rights and how those rights are affected by the people around us, which actually is probably even more relevant in our culture than it was in Paul's time. Now, it takes 3 chapters for him to get through it, and today we're looking at, well, what about when you know better than someone else? Well, that's what the people who want to eat this meat are saying. And they kind of have a point, right? There is only one God, as they say. Idols are not real, it's just a statue. And so when you know that, well, I guess it's true that you could say that this sacrificial meat is fine. And in general, Paul seems to agree, but what he wants them to think about is, how is this affecting others? There are plenty of issues today, we don't have time to get all of them, but where some people may know that it's okay, and more sensitive Christians would disagree and say you're not allowed to do that. But the stakes in this situation are more than just someone being offended. Paul is talking about when someone's faith might be destroyed. Because in this situation, someone might be thinking, well, if there's really no difference between worshiping Christ and worshiping Apollo, well, I'll just go back to worshiping Apollo. So I don't think we should use this passage to let spiritually immature people determine all of our practices and doctrines and beliefs. But all of these interactions on either side have to be rooted in love. Because the truth is, if you know better than other people, you pretty soon start thinking that you are better than other people. Knowing you're right often makes you more divisive, not more loving. Freedom and rights are complicated. Like I said, Paul takes a while to work through this, and we're going to be talking about it all week. But as always, however we understand the nature of what we know and what we do with our rights, it has to be centered on the cross. If Christ gave up his life for these people, what can you give up for them? Even if maybe you think you do know better.